My boy Craig. Back at it again.
A savage, if I will.
He's my assistant. Really the backbone of the company.
Fun fact here. Apparently, I'm a dumbass. I don't have any of my sign-ins for my fan tracks, so hopefully I never need to sign any in.
I think Philly's going to win it all this year. They look pretty good.
Unfortunately, I would agree.
Atlanta's going to... it's going to be y'all too, right?
Oh, the World Series. I doubt that. I don't think Atlanta gets it. Be completely honest with you.
Too much hype?
Yeah, and to be frank, it kind of sucks losing Acuna and Spencer Strider. And then coaches are like,
two core pieces?
Yeah, and then coaches are like, you know what? I don't think we're going to go get anybody. And I'm like, you know what? That makes no fucking sense.
Hey, can't judge them until the trade deadline, all right?
That is fair. I look at the year the Braves won it all, and you look at it, they were almost the last seed coming into the playoffs, didn't really have any right to be there. And they just got hot at the right time. So that, honestly, that's what I'm hoping that my boys do for me this year in fantasy. Get hot at the right time, and then just fuck around and find out. Plain and simple.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, owners and fans. I am your host, Johnathan, the Cutoff Man Silva, here with you live and in recording. Now, I've brought with me a special guest, the owner, manager, coach, and everything above. Reese Harper!
How's it going, guys? Happy to be here.
Now, first thing and foremost, your team had a very early rebrand from your rowdy team to now Backdoor Sliders.
Yep.
And everybody's been wondering why the sudden change in the first year of ownership.
Well, to be completely honest with you, watching the Braves, they struggled at the first part of the season. And if I had to hear the commentators say, struck out by a backdoor slider one more time, I was going to throw a baseball through my TV. So I said, you know what? Today's the day. That's the new team name. Because if I'm going to piss somebody off, that's going to get pissed off.
I've played MLB The Show, and whenever backdoor slider gets thrown at me, I'm swinging away and I'm missing. So I completely understand your feelings. And the thought of losing to a team called the Backdoor Sliders doesn't really sit well. But
no, it shouldn't.
Your record doesn't really represent you beating players 2-8 on the year so far this season.
Yeah. That is the downside.
We'll get into it, but you probably have your reasons, and the ill luck, bad luck, probably injury bugs. So we'll get into it.
Not really. Not really.
But we're going to talk about your
fun fact. We're just getting logged in, and I'm just seeing that I do have an outfielder back on the IL spot. So I've got some guys on the waiver wire. So if anyone's interested, we'll get into that later. I'm sure.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about way back to day one when we all kind of had a group draft via call-ins and meetups, and everybody going to a single house.
Yep.
We have here your first 4-round players that you got, the top 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that you said, this is going to be my team to start out with. And first
guys,
round.
If y'all get any notifications, I am currently adding and dropping players in the podcast. I've just reacquired Josh Bell.
He is a very, very busy front office.
Very busy front office. We don't have a lot of room for lackadaisy non-performance. All right.
Right. But your first round, you selected Freddie Freeman of the LA Dodgers. Noticed as we look onto your team, he's no longer there. He has been your first pick ever has been traded to Big D, Mr. Daniel Stewart. What did you get for him? You got Rice Hoskins, Rayso Iglesias, and Julio Rodriguez. You also gave away Castellanos, who you probably shopped to everybody multiple times.
2 points through about 33 games on the season wasn't really cutting it. But I'm not a man to just drop someone. There's potential. I think there's potential for him to line it up later on in the season.
Right. You want to get something out of them, and I respect
historically, if something bad happens in the world,
Yeah, whoa.
Castellanos hits a home run. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not wishing anything to happen, but historically,
we can look at it this way. And
when a tragedy strikes humanity, Castellanos pops off. We're just going to leave it there.
Well, think about this. It's a good thing because in 33 games, nothing bad happened.
Very good. When Castellanos has a bad season, the world is at peace.
But yeah, you traded to him. And Hoskins, out of the three you got, is the only one left on your team now from the Freddie Freeman trade.
Yeah.
Iglesias gone. Rodriguez recently gone.
Yep.
Reason?
Yeah, so I'm trying to pull up the trade document that we all received. It helps me kind of, realize, okay, cool, this is what happened and whatnot.
Has you being the loser.
It does have me being the loser. You know what? I respect it. I'm not going to say that I, had the greatest trades, but I'm happy that I was able to grab one or two trades. I'm a big trade guy. In case we haven't put two and two together there. Yes, Rodriguez, Hoskins, and Iglesias. Obviously, Hoskins kind of heating up. Got injured. He's back. We're at 8 points through 2 games back, I believe. 9 points through 2 games back. Not that bad if you ask me. He's already down a point today, apparently. So we're striking out strong. Love to see it. And Iglesias, I think the closers are a good move. But at the end of the day, your team's got to be winning. The Braves weren't winning at the time that I had Iglesias. And whether he's getting 6, 7, 8 points for a save, is he coming in every game to save? No. Can I justify leaving him on the team when there's guys that are out there getting 20, 25 points a game as pitching? No. So the issue there was that I was holding the spot. And at the time of the drop too, closers did count towards the pitch count.
Yes,
so
big rule change.
If that was changed back then, would I keep it? I don't really know. But yeah, that's what happened there. And then obviously moved Rodriguez. Everyone knows about that trade with Sugandis. Got me another pitcher and got me a good outfielder in the trade. And I think Rodriguez has actually been playing pretty well for him. I have to go back and look.
Seems to get a lot of our guys. He just needs a new environment, and they just start thriving. Because I wouldn't recently, a couple weeks ago, I sent Vladimir over to him, and Vladimir now is looking like the Vladimir of last year.
Yep,
he's getting his hits. They're not homers, but he's getting points compared to what he was doing with my team.
Yeah, I mean, I had I had Julio for maybe 10 games. I think he was sitting the first 20 games of the season. He had about 30 points, and since he went to Gunner, he's got 52 points.
Right. So I mean, yeah, it's a lot of the not living up to your names kind of deal that we had. I mean, you especially, and you just had to, I guess, try to get a return out of the disappointments of the early season's goings. And a lot of work had to be done for that round one. A lot of shocking trades you did here.
So I do credit a little bit on me. So I didn't really look at the point system. I'll be straight up and honest. I wasn't sure how many points each player got. I didn't know how how grueling of a battle it was. I expected fantasy baseball to kind of have the same point thought process of fantasy football. Like, if my guys aren't putting up 8, 9, 10, 11 points a game, then what are they doing on the team?
Right.
And that took me a while to understand. That kind of goes into the Freeman trade and a couple of the other ones too. The early trades, I didn't understand how the points work. Not saying that I go back and remove some of those that I wouldn't keep them. I truly, outside of one or two trades, I have no regrets on the trades that I've made.
Oh wow!
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
I mean, we're all brand new to the fantasy baseball world, and I agree. Looking at the 2 points, 3 points, I was like, "What's going on?" And I'm looking at the details, like, "Oh, I understand the point system now. A 6, 7 point day is a great day for a hitter. 13, like we've seen like 20 pointers, 13, 19 pointers. And we're like, oh, those are fantastic days for a hitter. But it's the opposite for a pitcher. It's kind of like a flip flop. If you get a 6-7 point day, you're like, oh, my pitcher didn't really do very well. But if you get like a
that
high
sounds like me
teens,
all of last
20s,
weekend.
20s, you got it like, oh, my pitcher had a good week. Perfect. Exactly what we want. But your second round pick, you chose Zach Wheeler, starting pitcher of the Philadelphia Phillies.
That is correct.
No longer on the team yet again. Traded to the menace of the league, A's to Z's, Mr. Senior Sage. Along with Jarren Duran and Marcus Stroman, and you got in return Joe Ryan, Hunter Green, and Isaac Paredes.
My favorite fun fact about this trade, not a lot of people realize it. I didn't realize it until Daniel sent me asking about the trade, was that I actually drafted Joe Ryan earlier in the season. So he's back home where he belongs. Duran hadn't been performing well. Oh my gosh. And Stroman was just kind of back and forth. Stroman was up and down, and he was a free agent pickup. Honestly, the free agent pickups for me, hit and miss. I was okay with it. I picked up Ryan. I got Green. As we'll talk about later on. Paredes was specifically picked up for a purpose. And the purpose was to trade him to you. We had the conversation a day or two prior of who you needed. I was trying to get Lugo from you. And you said, well, I need a third baseman. You wanted Westberg. I wasn't willing to give up Westberg. But I said, you know what? I'll go out. I'll find someone who can do just that. And that's what I did. Wheeler sucks losing him.
Yes, that was a very big loss. No matter what team he'd be on, it hurts to see him go. But knowing you and your front office and the guys you got working for you, you're not scared to pull the trigger.
No, everyone should play it like it's their last game.
I can personally respect that. A lot of people in the league do not like letting go of players very easily as others.
Here's the deal. All right. Plain and simple. We paid $25 to play in the league. We're not sponsored. Cash does not sponsor this trade or this podcast. But we paid $25 cash or Venmo. Venmo also doesn't sponsor the podcast to play in this league. I'm going to have fucking fun with it. Plain and simple.
Right.
I'm here to win. I'm here to compete. But at the end of the day, making trades and having fun with it, that's what's up. I love it. I think coming out here and just having fun is what makes it enjoyable. If I sit on the same team, cough, Tyler, and don't make any trades, cough, Tyler, I don't see what's fun in it. You're not flipping players. You're not trying to get out there and have fun with it. It's just not enjoyable for me. And at that point, the app just starts to sit on my back screen and I stop paying attention. I've played fantasy soccer for 3 years now, and I've made one pickup the entire time because no one would trade with me.
Jeez. So what's going to happen to the team? A little sidetrack. What's going to happen to the team when the trade deadline happens? Is that going to be probably your busiest day? Are you preparing the team? Even though we're still early in the season, we're just now getting to the dog days of summer. But when that trade deadline comes around, is the front office going to be working overtime?
I think, this goes, I go back to the first trades. The first trades I made, like I said, they weren't the best, right? Since then, I've started to kind of realize, all right, cool, this is what's needed. And it's kind of been playing catch up. I feel like I'm having to kind of rebuild the team middle of the year because of mistakes that I made at the start of it. And so right now we're just starting to get where I've gotten to where I need 1, 2, maybe 3 more positions. And I'm gonna kind of slow it down a little bit. Start looking for the future, looking to compete for some playoff spots. But if not, then we're gonna look at getting some draft picks and trying to build up the team a little bit more for the next year's coming.
Right. And also including, I'll save it for later. But your third round pick here, the third player on your team, you selected Rafael Devers, a Boston Red Sox third baseman. And yet again, lo and behold, you traded that third baseman to Gunnar Sneed of Secundis National Republic for Javier Assad, who is still on the team.
He is. At this point, I want to say I still had probably my biggest. I'll be honest, biggest regret right now is dropping Mountcastle. Kind of fucked up with that. Hit the wrong button. Accidentally hit confirm. Tried to pick him back up. Didn't work out. So at the time, Devers was kind of. I was riding a wave with him. I'm looking at it now. The period that I had him, he had 17 points. It looks like.
Okay.
Send him out. Get Assad, who's not the worst pitcher, not the best pitcher.
No, I mean he has 150 points on the season. He's kind of like, in my opinion, kind of one of your solidified pitchers and your pitching core.
Yeah,
like, he's gonna produce.
Yeah, he's gonna produce, and like I said at the time, I was kind of stacked on that corner infield spot. Made the decision to make that move to try to get another pitcher to help solidify it a little bit. I don't really regret this one.
No, I mean, looking back on his past games, they're not. Some of his games are not high scoring, but unlike other pitchers in the league, I don't see a negative game yet.
Yeah, I mean he's a different beast. Something about the Wrigley Field and just the green wall just kind of gets him going, I guess.
So you've traded for a lot of pitching. Is there a chance that Assad leaves now that you're looking for more pitching, considering kind of the recent? I don't want to say recent slump, but it's kind of recent. It's kind of still fresh on my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games, and we're looking at 5, 6 of them are single digit games. Only one 20-point outing, another 17-point outing. I think he's solidified as if I need someone on a Sunday to get me some points to hold someone off. Maybe I've got a lead going into Sunday and he's pitching. I want him on the team because I'm not going to question if I'm going to lose points.
Right. Well, for your fourth pick, and this is the last pick we're going to talk about, you selected Corbin Burns. Yeah. And yet, somehow, Sagundis Republic swipes one of your top 4 picks. You gave, what was it? Burns, Evan Phillips, a pitcher, and Jose Altuve gone. I didn't realize he was on your team.
Jose?
Yeah. And you got who did you get? Who'd you get? Jordan Montgomery, Chris Sale, and Ozzie Albies. Now, 2 of those 3 you got returned are chef's kiss right now. But the people you gave away, was it just time for them to leave? Like I said, 3 big names for a 3 big names kind of deal.
Yeah, so this game goes to kind of that first round. Didn't really know what we were looking at. I didn't know how players work. So Altuve scored 2 points on the opening weekend. And I was like, nope, can't do this. Wow. Sorry, I was just looking through. On a side note, Jordan Montgomery in this trade, who I received since dropped, has a whopping 23 points on the season.
That's it?
Yeah. He has 3 negative double-digit games.
It's kind of a disappointing season for kind of the bigger free agent names.
It is.
Past offseason.
It is.
And real MLB, not in fantasy. Yeah, it was bad. Just a bad return. But you got Chris Sale, who happens to be the ace of your team.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I got three pitchers at nearly 200 points. And Chris Sale is one of them. Evan Phillips rocking 82 points down there in LA. But again, he was out for looks like about a month. He pitched May 3rd and then did back June 1st. 91 points now. My apologies. I'm looking at the wrong thing, I guess. And Jose Altuve, who has 145 points. So I'll be honest, I lost this one. Obviously, I don't have Montgomery anymore. Chris Sale's an ace, but I gave up an ace. And I'll say it proves to be better than Acuna this year in that second base spot.
Yeah, Corbin Burns. I mean, man, I know you got Chris Sale, but if you could have somehow worked around.
I agree, but at the same time for me, I looked at it as Burns had a good first game. And I just, something in me said, hey, you know what? Release him. So I did. I mean, but look at it, 40, looking at this 7 day, he had 43 points his first week that I had him. Went to Gunner, got 9 points, got 24 points. Then he got 52 points in the week. So he's starting to build back up.
Chris Sale, 189 points on the season. He's averaging 17 points. He's got 82 strikeouts with a 3.06 ERA. Kind of outstanding for a pitcher.
Yeah. Especially for his age, man. 35 years old, kind of popping off.
The one of your vets in the pitching core you have.
Yep.
But his last outing, did all of us get an earful from you about his performance against Oakland of all teams?
Yes.
Was minus 10 points, 4 innings, 9 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 home runs, walked 1, 4 strikeouts on 71 pitches.
Hey, but quite possibly MLB Game of the Year, in my humble opinion. The Braves lost the game, but a 9-run 5th inning to tie up the game. I mean, God bless.
Chris Sale seemed to have just started going through the motions there, bud.
Yeah, not what I wanted to see. Definitely was not looking forward to it. Really needed I needed the consistency. I mean, we were at 5 straight games of 20 over. I needed a 20-point game to try to hold on the lead against Coach Jonas, and it just didn't work it out.
Yeah, and so the start of the slump with Chris Sale kind of sparked your whole bullpen to kind of go into that slump. It's kind of like you see your leader not doing well, and you're like, oh, shit. They try to do too much, and it also doesn't work. Is there the coach is looking for a bounce back? How are you dealing with that kind of situation here?
Well, I don't even want to say that Sale started it. Humbly, Kikuchi for me is kind of the one that got it going. I mean, May 26th, that's the day of the fall apart. He started off the day with -9. For Sale, Joe Ryan, Hunter Green, everyone just didn't pull their weight. But I'll be honest, Singer was supposed to start that day, and actually had to go out sick. He had a sick day. Called him the coach.
Okay.
Hey, cough, not feeling good. Want to play video games?
Mm-hmm.
Up the phone on coach, and he didn't play, and that kind of hurt. And I think the team kind of got the vibe. They said, "Well, man, if you don't have to come into work, why do I got to come into work?" And they just jointly said, "Hey, fuck you, coach." So yeah,
Could it also be kind of like seeing Kikuchi perform the way he did and instantly get sent away, kind of, you think it may have also kind of affected the way the pitchers took the next games?
that could be
kind of scared for their jobs, so if they're going to even be here for the next week or not.
That could be it. But I'm going to tell you right now, if last night has anything to say about my pitching core, the way they performed the past 2 days after that, I've got no worries in that at all. Everyone has held their role together this week. Even Kyle Gibson, pulled him in off the bench. Said, "Hey man, I know you don't got a team, but I need you to come out swinging." Monday night, came out swinging, got 11 points. To me, that's a good outing. Yep, I got Singer's going tonight. I think that's all I've got going tonight. Hopefully, Clace and Munoz can come out and get some saves, get some good points. I'll be completely honest with you right here. Best pitcher to me right now on my team is Emmanuel Clace. He's not getting a lot of respect. He's a relief pitcher with 200 points.
Yeah, he's respected around the fantasy league. He's 99% rostered and started 98% of the time whenever he is kind of on that track of, hey, he's coming in the game to do some relief. Consistently getting, strikeouts every other game seems like.
Yeah. 30
his ERA? 0.03 ERA.
Yeah. 31 strikeouts in 30 innings. 16 hits allowed, 4 runs, 1 earned run, and 3 walks.
19 saves in 31 games played. Pretty good.
Yeah, we're looking 9 points, 8 points, 5 points, 7, 9, 7, 8, 6, 9, 7. The dude's he's a machine.
And now,
as long as the Guardians play good and get him in a closing opportunity, he does what he needs to do. He comes out, he gets 7, 8 points a game, and I'm happy with it.
And I'd agree with you. He's even more of a valuable piece now that his starts don't count towards anything. So you could just keep him and slot him in whenever he's like, okay, rotation. Yep, he's going today. Put him in.
Yeah. Same with Munoz, the Seattle closer. He's got a little lower back injury right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if he'll pitch tonight if they can hold off the great Oakland A's. But 150 points as a closer. The relievers are there. You just got to find the right ones to get slot in the starting spots.
So back to Sale. Is there worry for you when he comes up to face the Washington Nationals on his next start? Is he going through the same motions like back to work, or is he kind of switching it up here?
So I think last time he played Washington, which was not too long ago, I thought maybe he didn't pitch in that series. I guess he didn't. I think he comes back to work. Historically, he's been in the league for years. He's a household name in Boston and now Atlanta. And I think that when he comes to the mound, nothing matters. He doesn't think about the last game. He's not thinking about the next game. He's thinking one pitch at a time. I talked to him personally. I said, "Hey man, look, we gotta get shit together because you're not going on the trade block, but I don't need you thinking about it." So I think he's gonna come back. He's gonna be swinging. It's gonna be a good game.
Now, for his age, being 35 years old, do you think you could get? I mean, was he a first round? I know we have our first 5 picks are void. We can't keep them.
I'm not sure. So I traded for Chris when we were still on the other system. I'm not sure if I can say their name on this podcast.
Right. Name snap. He said, yeah.
The 4-letter word. 4-letter people up in Connecticut. But according to what it's saying in here, he's a 24th round pick. Not sure.
I don't see him in the top 5.
So I mean, he is keepable. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But I do know he's on a good contract with Atlanta. He's going to be there for a while. Everyone on Atlanta is on good contracts. I see Atlanta being dominant when they're healthy. But I got to look at it. Is he going to hold that level of dominance when Strider comes back? Right now, he is the ace. He knows he's the ace. He's competing like an ace. But when Strider comes back, does he go, all right, cool, I just need to get to the 7th inning with the team winning, compared to going out there and winning games himself?
Understandable. And having all these pitchers and players come in and out, you've just kind of been known in the league as the guy to trade with because you're willing to trade anybody if the price is right.
I am.
Is there any potential future where you look at a player and say, yeah, he's staying on the team, or is anybody tradable on this team that you've built?
So again, I made the mistakes early in the season, not looking proper, and didn't do a lot of prep. I'm sure everyone knows, Daniel, you walked in with clipboards and the laptop, the computer. If y'all weren't at the draft, I walked in with a Diet Coke.
I walked in with a beer.
Was watching March Madness and was having fun with it. So I definitely need to be more prepared next year when it comes to draft time. But right now, like I say, anyone's not tradable. If the right price comes, I'm willing to deal. But I'm looking to be competitive. I'm not tanking for Otani, if that's what we're going to call it nowadays, or Skeens, because Skeens is Skeens. But no, I mean, right now I'm very happy with the team. Like I said, I'm really looking for that one missing piece, that corner infield, third baseman or first baseman. It's kind of who I'm.
Is there a certain player you're eyeing that you're like, oh, I could be okay getting this certain individual, kind of the missing piece to your team?
Yeah, so Coach Sage and I have been in some deep conversations, and I've really been talking to him about trying to get a hold of. Well, I don't see him on his team right now. I'm going to kill him.
Uh-oh. Has he went back on his word?
Abraham Toro. Oakland A's second baseman, third baseman, and a DH has been on my eye. Toro's been on my eye.
Name I've heard.
Yeah, and I've been trying for Miguel Garcia, but I don't think that one's going to work out for me very well.
So Toro is the guy you're kind of.
Toro's the guy that I'm looking at right now, but not saying that I'm not 100% sold on anyone else. Really, anyone comes calling with a first baseman or a third baseman, I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to hear your offers that are out there.
Huh. Well, there you have it. Any owners out there that want a potential trade? You know the guy to call. I mean, it's gonna be the one who keeps trading.
I've been the guy to call. I'll keep being the guy to call.
So, with all these trades happening, is there been kind of any setbacks in the front office? Any like hot debates or kind of hot-headed minded people that were like yelling at each other saying, don't trade this person, do trade this person type ordeal? Or is everybody on the same page there in the front office that you're running?
We mostly were on the same page. No, not really. No one really has been frustrated with some of the trades that have been made. I definitely think there's a couple of some people weren't the happiest with some decisions. But you know what? You got to do.
So you've got 4 pages worth of transactions here.
I do. That does not surprise me.
So I'm on your trade history here for your team. Now that's your transaction. So that's dropping, free agents, claiming, and all that good stuff. But you only got really 1 page worth of trades. We've talked about a few of them. The Blake Snell trade.
Big topic there. I don't know if we have enough time to dive into that.
We got plenty of time. Blake Snell for a 20th round pick. Shocked the fantasy league, some would say. How did that process go about between you and the owner of Secondis National Republic, Gunnar Sneed?
We started shooting some texts back and forth. I was looking for draft picks, and was at the point where I needed to drop some players. I had some guys come back from IL, needed to make some changes, but didn't really want to just leave anyone out. So hit up Coach Sneed. He was kind of the first one that reached out to me about trading some draft picks, and he asked what Blake Snell would cost. At the time, I think Snell was on the IL, was looking to come back here soon. Was at negative 13 points, I believe, on the season at the time of the trade. So decided, hey, you know what? I'll send him on out. Maybe a change of scenery is what he needs to compete. Shocked the fantasy world.
Yeah.
First draft pick traded. A 20th round pick. We'll get into that later. 20th round pick for Blake Snell. Hurt a little bit. But again, Snell, I drafted 25th. He was my last pick of the draft. He had just signed his contract with the Giants, so he needed to kind of step up and get back in full swing. I mean, look at him now. He's on the injured list again.
Yeah, kind of having the injury bug all year for Mr. Snell.
And Coach Sneed.
Yeah, Mr.
It must be some
Coach
of those
Sneed.
SNE names that just injuries.
The Snell Sneed combo. But we also have another transaction trade here. You gave away, let's see, Anthony Volpe, Yu Darvish, and a round 12 pick for Kikuchi and Profar? Or did I get that reversed?
No, that's right. Volpe, Darvish, and a 12th rounder. Darvish is now on the injured list, I believe.
Uh-huh.
He is. So apparently I dodged those at the right time. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be completely honest with you, man. Profar, what a monster.
Free agent. Kind of
free agent pickup.
To pick him up.
Yep. I mean, just on an absolute tear. Batting a 329. 8 home runs, 30 RBIs, 38 walks, 3 walks, 3 stolen bases. He's their utility guy out there, and he's my utility guy here.
Yeah, kind of a great pickup for the trade. Honestly, probably the best out of the bunch in that trade. I mean, Volpe's good, but utility-wise, yeah, I'd take Profar. See with some other trades here, you have that kind of struck a chord with others. Others being myself. The trade between us two, between you and I. We've had a couple. We've had a lot.
Yep. Which one are we talking about here? Let me pull it up.
Kind of, I think the only team to give away their top 10 pick was you. And you gave away your top 10 pick along with Paredes for one of my better pitchers, Seth Lugo. I say better pitchers, one of my top pitchers, top 2. Many were shocked, the few that I talked to. I'm kind of surprised you gave up a top 10 pick because not many of us are willing to do that. I'm kind of interested on what made you pull that trigger. Was it the Lugo wanting to be like a cornerstone of your pitching core, or was it just?
I mean, like we talked about earlier, I'm sitting at 3 pitchers at 200 points, pretty much. There are players out there that are worth a 9th round pick, in my opinion, that I have on my team right now that are free agent pickups that I can keep on to.
Right.
This commercial break is brought to you
by cheese. Do you like cheese? It's good. Cheese. And so your trades have also kind of been involving a lot of 20th rounders. You kind of on a quest for a lot of 20th rounders. Is this kind of a meme thing, or do you have a plan?
I have a plan. I don't know if I want to give a whole plan up before it's completed.
Little sneak peek,
But there's a little sneak peek. I think one of two things could happen. Imagine the player that I can get if I offer an entire round of draft picks. But at the same time, having the opportunity to have a whole set of draft picks. Not saying that people forget, but the season ends. Our season ends in August, September. We're not going to draft again until March. I mean, someone could have their entire thing planned out, and then all of a sudden, boom, hit with 8 straight 20th round picks. I mean, you might have some on your eye in the 20th round. Good fucking luck, buddy. I mean,
your scouts have potentially a very huge off season if you decide to keep those 20th rounders.
They do.
It's amazing. But we'll jump into current day. We have your matchup here against brand new owner Tyler. No luck's given this week. Let's see here. There we go. 117-71. Kind of a comfortable lead as it stands. Nothing
that's too comfortable for me.
I mean, I understand you're 2-8 on the year.
Yep, and if you look at my last 2 weeks, I mean, I've had back-to-back weeks where I felt real good going into the weekend. I just wasn't able to put it together. So that's kind of tough for me.
Let's see. Today, you've got Hoskins. He's got a strikeout so far today. Albies, he's got 2 strikeouts on the day. Pena's got a strikeout. Terang's not doing anything. And I've noticed you have a injured Munoz on a day-to-day injured look. Is that a concern for you?
It is a little bit. It's a lower body injury. He aggravated it going for a ball, trying to tag someone out the other day. That's tough, especially with the way he was playing. But not that guy. But we talked about Iglesias earlier in the day. He is a closer. If I've got to drop him to pick up someone, unfortunately, I can do that. Unfortunately, I may have to do that. What I would really like to see right now, don't wish injuries on anyone, but as we've seen, I wouldn't mind a 10-day IL here. Go ahead and put him in an IL spot and have the opportunity to pick someone up right now.
It's more of a precaution. Make sure he takes care of himself.
Yeah, I mean, go to the minors, get some rehab starts. Maybe there's unfortunately in fantasy, there's no one lower than me.
You can only go up from here.
You gotta go to the waiver wire and get your rehab starts there. But that's the hope. That's the hope.
So yeah, so for now you're -1 on the day, but that's for now. Your late games haven't done anything, and you have one starting pitcher today, Singer, going today.
Yep. And Tyler's had a pitcher go. He's got 2 going today as well. Looking for a big outing from the Chicago White Sox today. Talion could get absolutely shitted on. It would be nice. And shout out Twin Cities. So let's pop off. Let's Carlos Rondon. Negative points from him would be huge.
Right. And you kind of sit in the group chat to where you said, "Here, let me pull this up."
Are we leaking group chats? Because
no, it's nothing big. It's what did you say? And I quote from earlier this morning. And I quote from you: "If the past 2 weeks have told me anything, I'll give the lead up on Saturday."
Yes.
Are you saying that Tyler's going to take the lead on Saturday?
He may. He may.
You not have faith in your team to continue.
I'm not comfortable until the final pitch is thrown Sunday at probably fucking 2 a.m. Thank you. Shout out Pacific Coast for your shitty ass games and start times. But no one should. I get, that people are up big. But as we've seen, stat corrections are a phenomenal thing. They may look in 3 weeks from now and realize that a dude was out at first and take all the runs away that he scored. Now your dude has like negative 50 points on the day and you lose the game. You never know what happens. You can never know what happens.
Yeah, and this league having a lot of rule changes for the better, for the worse. The most recent one being the relief pitchers not having any starts. Do you think that was like a good thing for the league?
I think it was.
Having unlimited relief pitching.
I think that there were some people that were rotating their pitching, through the waiver wire, and there were some that weren't. And I think that the relief pitchers try to help kind of solidify that you need to rotate your pitching. Looking through, I think as of this point, I have 10, maybe 11 starts in the pitching division. So I've got to make some changes. I've got to drop players, pick up pitchers. You've got to reach the 14 pitch, 14 starts. Because if not, you're throwing points away against people, the likes of Jonas and Adam, who sat there pitching for Sunday. Right. Oh, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Let's cut that.
But that's also another new rule. We've kind of.
I would also like to point out that Jonas did apologize. He reached out and he said, "I'm sorry for stacking my pitching. I just had 4 starts left. I had 3, but I didn't feel like stacking my pitching, so there's that. Not gonna,
So, what do you mean by the stacking? Did he go over his 14 pitcher limit?
He may have. I'm not really sure. I didn't really look.
Because if you have 4 slots left, like you said, they're lost slots if you don't fill them, and he's like, if he only pitched 10 out of 14.
And I'm not sure there's a way that we can, correct that. To where you can only have 14, but I do think it is. I do think it is a little unfair when we're picking up and dropping pitchers the day of. You've got 13 starts, you only need 1, but all of a sudden you grab 5. I mean, 2 weeks ago we had 2 teams combined for 34
right.
starts.
And that's the other new rule the commissioner kind of put out. We're kind of hard capping. A gentleman's handshake between all of us to say, hey, we're hard capping at 14. If you go over 14, I think the commissioner is going to kind of void one of the starts.
I mean, can we do that? And is it really a handshake if you don't shake hands? We haven't seen each other since the draft. I'm just putting it out there, and I haven't seen you in a while. You were Gunner. Granted, y'all do live.
If you come, some 2 states away.
Yeah. I made a thought of. In theory, it's great. But is it applicable, and can we actually hold everyone accountable to it?
Right.
Those are the questions that I have.
Well, the reason I bring it up is, was there any new rules that you would like to see implied into the league for next year, or is everything kind of? I mean, other than
I think
the pitching stuff, is there anything that you're I kind of feel like this would be nice to bring up for the next year?
I think the ranking shouldn't matter on a record. I think it should be alphabetical order. And I reverse alphabetical order, excuse me. So, A would be at the bottom. And Adam can't change his name. So I think, everyone else could change their name, maybe start with a Z, add some diversity to the team names here. But no, I mean, in all honesty, I think that I think we're all having a lot of fun. I think that that's all that matters. I'll be completely 100% honest with you, man. How many games are in our season? Does anyone, do you know off the top of your
head? We have 26 weeks.
26 weeks. All right, so that's 26 games. I could go 0-26. With the way this crew is, with the way we're having fun, the podcast, Ground Rule Trouble, shout out Joe, the trade document that Daniel made. Man, I could go 0-26, and I pay $25 to do it this next year. It's an absolute blast. I think that's all that matters. Is out here having fun with each other, busting each other's balls. Don't mean to offend anyone by saying balls. But yeah, I mean it's having fun, and that's all that matters. And also, fuck the Cubs.
And one last thing for talking about the future and next year, the rumors being the buy-in, $100 buy-in. Is that going to affect how you draft in the coming year? And if so, or sell the team, are you staying in, or you feel like
I'm in for the long haul. I'm in for the long haul. I mean, I paid $25. Made $25 for the team. I got to see it out. Not really playing fantasy football anymore. Now, if we were to do that, rock a podcast about fantasy football, I'm all here for it. My 2 cents. Fuck the Cowboys.
Jeez.
I'm not a big fan of the Dallas sports, in case you can't tell. Shout out Edmonton
Cowboys
Oilers.
Anywho, thank you, Reese, owner of the Backdoor Sliders, for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your busy front office days, and hopefully you can come out with a win this week with your dealings you got going on over up yonder.
That's the goal. That's the goal. On a side note, I do want to talk about something that I just saw.
Oh, go ahead.
Shohei Ohtani took a foul ball to the knee. And they're possibly looking at some MRIs for it. Just saw it on my Fantrax page here. Pretty much went straight off the ground up into his knee. He looked a little funny. But they do play for Jake, and as we all know, Jake gets no injuries. So, if anything, it probably gave him superpowers, and he'll now be a bigger hitter.
Well, and also in other news, MLB has announced yesterday that it has cleared Ohtani and closed its investigation and considers him a victim of fraud at the hands of his former interpreter. So he's been cleared of all charges.
Phenomenal.
So even more superpowers for Shohei Ohtani.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. And as the final finalist pointed out in our chat while we're on the podcast today, Devers, we talked about him earlier in the day, absolute phenomenal game today. Racked up 15 fantasy points. That is nuts.
Menace.
An absolute menace. 3 for 2. 2 home runs and 3
2
RBIs.
dingers.
That is
and a walk.
That is nuts. Got on base. That's all that matters. You got to get on base, people. If you want to score points in this league, you got to get to first base. 90 feet at a time, guys. 90 feet at a time. That's how you win games.
How you win games. And Reese would know about winning games.
Lots of them. Lots of them. Lots of them. Guys,
you,
we're 2-8. We're 2-8. We're on the rise from here. Y'all have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. And I will catch you guys on the flip-flop. Bye. 90 feet at a time. Reese knows a lot about.
What is it? 60 feet?
No, it's 90. You're right.
It's 90.
Okay.
It was just funny.
That was fun. I want to do that more.
Just about.
That was a blast.